Okay guys, so let's get into how we're going to get our signals from this chart. Okay, the first thing we need to know is the dollar index. Okay, now the symbol for that is DX, so I suggest you put that into your market club. Okay, this is very important. You have to understand the concept of the dollar index. Now the dollar index is made up of 6 currencies. Okay, so that's the euro, the yen, the Great British Pound, the Canadian dollar, the Swedish krona, and the Swiss franc. Okay, so if you think about the euro as an example, that makes up 17 member states. Okay, so the euro is the main player. Now when you break it down into percentages, the euro makes up 57.6% of the dollar index. Okay, and then the Japanese yen is the next one, 13%. The Great British Pound makes up 11.9%. The Canadian dollar 9.1%. And then the Swedish krona is 4.2%, and the Swiss franc 3.6%. Okay, so basically you have a correlation of currencies that move in the same way in regards to the dollar index. Now, as you can see, the euro makes up 57.6% of the dollar index, so that is one we can really track. Okay, so I've opened here my euro USD, and I've got this one on a daily chart. Okay, so we can see we've got all our trend lines in there. Sorry, all our moving averages and our simple moving averages. Just a quick overview of those. Basically those numbers, I've got them set as Fibonacci lines. So if we look at the first one where we got the exponential moving average of 24, that's based on the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement. Okay, the 62, I've got that's the same as the 61.8% fib number, and then the 77 is the 76.4% Fibonacci retracement. So you can see here on the daily chart, it generally does bounce off those lines. I mean, look there, it's bouncing off the 61.8, which is our 62%. So this just gives us an overview of where the market is. Now generally, if it's over the 200-day moving average, you'll see the monthlies are in an uptrend. And when it's below the 200, then the monthly will generally be in a downtrend. Okay, but still look at your market club here. Okay, so if we look at our triangles here, it's when the weekly is an uptrend. There's the weekly there. So it's above the 200, and it's above all our simple moving averages and exponential moving averages. So it's above the 20, and it's above the 24 EMA. So these are the sections that we want to be trading. If you can see that. Okay, now if I look at the dollar index, okay, see I've got it over here. Let me get it on a daily for you. Okay, so just quickly looking at the euro on the daily, it's in an uptrend. And we look at the dollar index, it's on a downtrend. All 3 triangles are red now. It's below the 200, and it's below the 20 simple. And it's out of range of our exponentials, so it's down there. You can almost say that the euro moves inversely to the dollar index. Okay, if we look at it on a smaller time frame, let's look at it on a 60-minute chart. So this is this last week, last 5 days, and let's look at the dollar index also on the last 5 days. So this is the dollar index, it's moving down. And it's our euro, it's moving up. Okay, so what we want to do when we set up our trend lines is for the euro USD, we're going to be looking from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Okay, so if I take it like this, let's have a look. Let's see, let's start here at the beginning of the week. So Tuesday, I want to, including the 4 p.m., I want to highlight that and drag to the 2 a.m. Okay. So we basically know we're going to be trading in the upwards direction. So it's a call trade. And then I'm looking for the highest point and the lowest point within that overnight session. Okay. Now there is a trend line here that you can draw. So I'm taking it from the highest point out. Okay. And I'm taking it from the lowest point out. Okay. You'll have to draw those lines straight. Now you can see that line is quite thick. So what I'll do instead of putting those trend lines on, I'll just take my Fibonacci tool here and it'll give me a number to look for. So I can put it on there, just draw it down, take this out, so now I can make sure I get it on top of the wick of that highest candle. Okay, so now if you look here, it's actually giving you a number. So it's 1.35156. Okay, so what I'm looking for is the breakout. So there it broke out over there. So that would be a trade. Also, if I look down at the relative strength index, okay, I wanted certainly above 70, 75, but when you're watching it live, you want it to be right up in the 90s. Now, just to clarify, this is not an exact formula, because if it was an exact formula, everybody would be doing it. So there's other things you've got to bear in mind. But generally, it does follow the script. If you've got a relative strength index high up, sort of starting at the 90s, 85s, you've broken that trend line. Okay, that's the breakout. Just quickly, you want to go back and look at the same time on your dollar index. So this is January the 30th, and it's broken out in the 4 to 5 a.m. period. Okay, so let's go look at our dollar index quick. January the 30th. So now we're going to be doing this the other way around. So we're looking here from Tuesday, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Okay, we can see that's the lowest line there. I'll put my Fibonacci tool in it so I can get a number, and the line's much smaller, you can see. So it did just break out there at 4 a.m. Okay, and then it moved down. So it's almost the exact inverse to the Euro USD. So if I go back to Euro USD, there it was, 4 a.m. and then it moved down for an hour, then it came back slightly. Broke out, went up, and then it went sideways and down. So this is where we're looking to trade it, as it breaks through that line. Now, as I say, it's not an exact science, but remember, with trading binary options, we're only looking to be 1 pip ahead. So I like to take the 3-hour trade, because often you'll have fake outs. So it'll go up, and then go down, and then come back up again. Let's have a look at another one. Let's have a look at the next day. This is all, well, you can see the dates there, Wednesday, 30th of January, so that's last week. So 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., inclusive of that candle. So for my Fibonacci tool. Now we can use the highs and the lows, but what I'd like you to do is just trade with the trend. So we don't want to be trading up, the monthly's up, the weekly's up. We want to try and catch an upwards move as well. So let's get that on there. So it's probably there. So it probably broke out here. Okay, you can see down here the relative strength index, 94.38. So it probably broke out there. That's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Okay, so you would have got a trade over there. If we look at that time, it's 5 p.m. on January the 31st. If I look on my dollar index again. Now, I don't always draw my lines in for my dollar index, but I just want to look at it and see where I am. 4 a.m. to 2 a.m. So my line was over here. So those are the lows there. So it probably hits a line there, because you can see it broke through here, came up, and then came back down again. Okay, so it wasn't that strong there, but we probably took the trades. What's that? It's 10 a.m. January 31st. What was our euro? We were looking January 31st, 5 p.m. January 31st, 7 p.m. 5 p.m. See, we're trading up there and it hasn't broken through. I probably wouldn't have got into the trade. You see that? So 5 p.m. there, it had broken through here. but on my dollar index, that 5 p.m., it hadn't broken the line. I probably wouldn't have taken the trade. Okay, even though it would have been a winning trade, I probably wouldn't have taken it. So that's pretty much how I'm doing it. Okay, but this is with Euro USD. Now it is a little bit different with the other currencies, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But that's what you want to be doing. So you want to be taking from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., drawing a trend line across the top, and a trend line across the lowest point again. So on there. But I'm going to show you how to draw this on another platform, which is going to make it much clearer to you. Now remember that what I found with Market Club is it's not exactly live, it's got a little bit of a delay on it. So you want to be looking at other charts, and I'll look on my MetaTrader 4, and I'm going to show you in a video how to set that up. Let's have a look at one more here before we run out of time. So Friday, let's go Thursday, we're looking at 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Okay, then I want to see where my breakout is. So it's going to be at the top of that one there. Okay, so the number I'm looking for now when I go onto my platform, like Trade Rush or Bank Binary, whatever it is, I'm looking for 1.3629 of breakout. So it's broken out there, but while I'm looking for this to break out, I'll go and set it up on my dollar index chart. So I'm looking for 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Okay. So we're saying it broke out here at 4 a.m. on February the 1st. So if you look here, you can see it actually broke out a bit earlier. So I'll be watching that. It's broken out. That's a good trade. It's actually broken out about here. So I can definitely go into that trade there. I'll feel pretty comfortable going into it. Okay, even though it did draw back. But it never broke the line again, so it would have been a winning trade. So on the dollar index, you can see it went down. That's each one of these candles is a 1 hour. So it moved down there for what, 2 hours and something, and maybe over here it drew back a little bit. So a winning trade there. Okay, so go and practice that. Remember the first thing, check on your daily the direction. Okay, so when it's trading down here, breaking below the 77, I don't want to be in the trade. It's definitely in a downwards trend. That is a more advanced strategy, but why bother with that? Just trade with the trend. Looking for breakouts, it's in an upwards direction. All the candles are going up, the trade triangles. Even when you see this daily triangle red, we're looking to trade the breakouts. So I want to see that it's trading above here. If it's within the EMAs, I'll rather wait for it to break onto the upside, because you'll find a lot of times it'll bounce off here. If you just go through, see that's a resistance area there. Again, it bounced, oops, broke out there, went back down. So just go through it and have a look at it. So with the Euro USD, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., take your highest point, draw your trend line out, and your lowest point, draw your trend line out. And then you're trading in the direction of the trend. In this case, it's up, so we're looking for a call trade. And once it breaks a line, we're looking to see if the RSI is around about in the 90-85 region. 90 is better. Looking at our dollar index to make sure that's trading in the opposite direction. As I say, this is just for Euro USD. There's going to be, I'll put down a list below of the correlation between currencies, but that don't work exactly these days with everybody printing money. They're a little bit more out of sync, but as long as you've got a basic guideline. Okay, so that's Euro USD. Come to your daily, then your 60 minutes, set it up. 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Draw your trend line across. Get your number. So in this case, it was going to be 1.36281. Keep an eye on your dollar index, and as soon as it breaks out here, enter your trade.